Okay, so let me ask you some questions about this book. Again, Biblical Theology. I believe this is page 508. So you seem to reject so called double nature. The first thing to say is that the old kenotic theory does not work. The Word did not cease to be the Word in order to become Jesus. The Son of God did not cease to be the divine Son when he became Jesus. But clearly, the incarnation involves a change, a taking on of true humanity, a human identity, yes, a human nature. When we get to Chalcedon, as you know,
Yeah.
451 AD, there is this question of personhood, I guess. So
Yes.
are we saying there are two persons? Are we saying there is the one person? I was reading a Catholic writer called Thomas Hart. The book is called To Know and Follow Jesus. He just makes a historical footnote, I guess you could call it, that at Chalcedon, they call Jesus man in the generic sense, but not a man. In other words, a human person, because that opened up this whole problem of personhood. Uh, how is it that there's two persons? Is there the one person? To try and get this as one simple question for you, can we say Jesus is a human person or was a human person? Or how do we deal with that?
Oh, yes, 100%. He was also 100% the part of the divine identity.
There was a debate in the councils, as you know, specifically Chalcedon,
Yep.
with the issue of the person versus the nature. So in listening to you, so you
And
reject.
the debate was mixed up because you had Latin church fathers who didn't know Greek very well, and you had Greek church fathers who didn't know Latin very well. And unfortunately, you had problems with this whole debate because, for example, let's take the word personae, and the word substantia. If the Latin fathers had a hard time figuring out, are you saying he's of one substance with the Father? Or he's of one person with the Father? What exactly are you saying? There was a language problem at Chalcedon when they were dealing with these things. What they wanted to avoid was either the idea that he was merely human or that he was merely divine. They wanted to figure out a way to get those two things together. And the way they finally resolved it was by talking about two natures. Now, me personally, I don't think that's in the Bible.
Right, but that doesn't that open you up to the counter that was faced at Chalcedon of two persons then?
No,
Uh, in other words, a human person, a divine person. I mean, that was the issue, wasn't it, back then?
that was, well, that was part of the issue. Uh,
Okay.
the issue really is, what do we make of the idea of there is a divine nature, divine person or divine nature? Well, where is that idea? Okay. And that was debated round and round. What they wanted to avoid, and they did avoid, was the heresy of saying either Jesus was merely an angel or merely a human being or merely a being who appeared to become human but didn't really become human. They were trying to avoid the thing that various kinds of heresies, the Gnostic heresy,